So, I don't remember quite how everyone looked. What is that? Oh, that's probably the policewoman. Right? Maybe? I don't know. No, talk to this guy. He looks probably like an army vet. Parked a few streets away from the Argentinian embassy. Wait there for your contact. Seems odd to have a contact so excessive. Guy's one of your regulars, poker buddies and night watchman at the embassy. Get out of your taxi and walk towards the big metal gate. Clean lines, early 20th century maybe, lots of wrought iron. Gate opens and someone moves towards you. They indicate you should follow them. It's hidden by an oversized hoodie. What if it was... Follow. Walk into a narrow covered passageway, probably the entrance to a parking garage. Man turns around and lights up a cigarette. The lighter lights up his face for a second. A young man with curly hair, pale skin. Looks young. Very young. That'll be 250 euros. For the intel? Yeah, for the intel. You think this was a date? I want information on Goro Disher. I got info on Goro Disher. 250 euros. I'm out. Okay, listen, give me 200 and we're good, okay? Fine. Listen up, because I'm not going to say it twice. Definitely a colonel from the junta, one of the few that wasn't arrested and put on trial. He's responsible for torturing dozens of political opponents. He tortured and killed them. You know, we don't like him much here, but the rich Argentinians in Paris love him. They really respect him. Thanks. No problem. He looks back at you. Just one last thing. I heard in the newspaper that the killer wrote a message in chalk. Time's up. It's a slogan at the end of the junta. Sort of watchword from the opponents. It was time for them to go. You get it? You nod. That had to do with the, medical woman. Second lady, you're back in your taxi with a hole in your wallet with new information on one of the victims. If you follow this lead, maybe your investigation will move forward. You start the car and get back to your shift. Okay, I didn't lose too much money out of that. Okay, this one's in yellow. Should obviously deal with that one then, right? St. Owen. It's a 10-euro fare. Sure. You immediately recognize the passenger who just climbed in the backseat of your cab. His face has been plastered all over the news for the last few weeks. Oh, he's a lawyer. He is the lawyer. The lawyer who's representing a terrorist. He gives you an address and you start driving. He holds your gaze in the rearview mirror like he's trying to read your mind. You drive across a virtually empty Paris. Behind you, the lawyer nervously consults his notes. Everything all right? He answers without looking up. Yes. Get the message and leave him alone. Continue driving without saying a word. Your passenger mutters, "Why did he say that to the cops? Not taking this seriously. He doesn't get it. Idiot." There again, he says it again. Is he contradicting himself? Or just... Glancing in your mirror, the lawyer looks like a smaller version of himself. Say nothing. He didn't want to talk. Your eyes meet, you see him start to break. I can't take it anymore. Takes a deep breath as he loses control of his voice. This guy is a real asshole. He's not just a monster, he's a total idiot. Tears form at the corners of his eyes. I've never seen such a moronic defendant. You know what it's like to defend a moron? You know what it's like to not only get 3 hours of sleep a night, you just defend a fucking moron? You have any idea? He yells so loudly the windows shake. I'm sorry. When he answers, his voice is icy cold. No need to apologize. There's nothing to be sorry about. He pauses barely, just the time to take a deep breath. Jesus effing Christ already! He kicks a seat in front of him. Jesus! Calms himself down. He steadies his breath. I'm the one who agreed to it. I actually fought to represent him. It's my own damn fault me dragged through the mud. He raises his hand and snickers. Yeah, I admit it. First I thought it was pretty great. Being on TV, all the interviews, journalists asking my opinion on everything. Shook so many hands, said so many words, sentences. Never actually meant anything. When I worked in the hood, not a single person cared about my work. And now, in 5 hours, I have to be on the radio. In 7, on TV. He pauses, breathes. His voice sounds further and further away. Let him talk. If only I could just close my eyes and forget about all this. But that's impossible. Actually, it's simple. I almost never sleep. When I lie in bed, I stare at the ceiling and go over the evidence in my head. He sits up. It's barbaric, disgusting, so horrific it's almost unreal. He lets out a sigh from somewhere deep in his body. And then I discover my client brought nails. The nails that were in the bombs at the corner market. And he kept the receipt. He kept the fucking receipt. Folded it in half and slipped it into his wallet. That's what I see when I close my eyes. Disemboweled bodies and a receipt for €2 worth of nails! Why? He raises his voice quite high. Why, for God's sake? Thought he could expense it when he got to heaven? He pauses. So stupid. So dangerous. He disgusts me. He revolts me. Why defend him then? Because everyone has the right to an attorney. Everyone. Without exception. Otherwise, justice is no longer just. His fit of rage subsides. His fingers are shaking. When I signed on, I thought I'd be representing someone crazy. And I find out he's just a moron who's played too many video games. Guy's never even read the holy book they use to justify their so-called acts of martyrdom. He read a few passages online. Passages. Online. Do you have any idea what a complete moron he is? So close. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. I shouldn't have said all that. I don't have anyone else to talk with it about. All the other lawyers avoid me like the plague. My mother can't understand why I'm doing this. She's so ashamed she went back to Algeria. He's shaking. I get the shame. What I don't get is why people just lump things together. I am not a terrorist. I am not a murderer. He made the right choice. The right choice. Laughter echoes in the back of his throat. I barely had the choice. I couldn't let injustice. That's proof that you made the right choice. Everyone has the right to counsel, to stand trial, to have a fair trial. Even terrorists. Even morons. His anger is back, but this time around he's got it under control. We could hang him right here, right now, and no one, I'm telling you, would shed a tear. He stands quiet for a moment before catching your gaze. That's why I keep doing this. He slows his breathing. For equality. Our country was founded on it. These rights have been abused for far too often for me to look the other way. His anger seems to be lifting. The taxi's almost reached his destination. In the backseat, the lawyer is much calmer. His voice is soft. I needed to be reminded of this. It will serve as a lesson. He looks at you in the mirror and bores into you with his gaze. It's odd, isn't it? That I ran into you tonight. I mean, as if. No. Forget it. You pull over. He pays his fare. Wait, don't take this the wrong way, but he hands you another bill. Here. It's for you. For listening. For hearing what I had to say. He looks relieved, gathered his belongings strewn across the back seat. As he's getting out of the cab, you realize he left an envelope behind. For a second, one tiny second, you hesitate. Could be something important. You forgot something. He freezes, noses the envelope, and grabs it hastily. You can tell he's uncomfortable. Doesn't say another word. Fuck, I should have kept it, but he gets out of the taxi, walks a few steps away, turns around to wave at you before entering a bistros. Drive off. 20 euro extra. 20. Thanks, man. Oh, you look like you're in distress. Let me talk to you. Or maybe just get you away from wherever you are. Ooh, that's a long drive. Let's get started. Pull up to a local police station to pick up your next passenger. Comes out from under an archway, visibly frightened. She slips into the backseat of the cab and gives you her address near Monteparsenes. I don't know. Glance her in the rearview mirror and notice how she is dressed. I don't think she's in... Passenger, avoid your eyes as you start the cab. I don't think she's in the mood to talk. Points to the car radio. Could I listen to the radio? You nod yes. Which station? My wallet was stolen. She pauses and then fixes her eyes on you. You freeze. I have money for the fare. Okay. She senses your surprise. I just wanted to tell you that I could pay. Looks down. What kind of music? Excuse me. Radio. What kind of music should I put on? Classical. Woman shakes her head. 89.4. You hold down the button until you get to the station. Nothing but static. Are you sure that... Hint of a smile plays across her mouth, faint, but a smile even so. She waits a second or two before answering. Can you hear it? You lean forward closely to the radio. Behind the sounds of electric sputtering, there's something else, a shifting sound. It sounds like... waves. Passenger looks up. That's right. There are waves in the background. Her voice is almost inaudible. It's perfectly natural, sir. Her sir gives you quite a start. It's a frequency that causes it. It vibrates, constantly dancing around, pulled by all the incredible forces surrounding us. Most people listen to music to the news. As for me, when I work, I like to listen to isolated frequencies like these. They're broadcast, but no one hears them. But the proof that we exist. She smiles at you. You're getting closer to the back. Not even by the map, but... Say nothing. Yes, exactly. Doesn't seem to want to talk. You focus on the road in front of you. The sounds of static fill your mind. The client suddenly straightens up and points to the radio. It's beautiful. So incredibly beautiful. Listen. You listen. You only hear static at first. And then, little by little, like a distant figure, the music takes shape and slips softly into your ears. Beautiful, isn't it? To me, they were ghosts, and that's why I studied science and later mathematics. I wanted to know why. You pull over. She gets the fare ready while you slowly turn up the radio. Beneath a layer of interference, someone is speaking, like the voice of a child. Thank you. No, thank you. That was actually very calming. You emerge from your trance and take the fare. Your passenger exits the cab and walks away without another word. You sit there, immersed in the sound of the radio a while longer. It has a soothing effect on you. You start the engine and drive away. That was very cathartic. Let's go talk to this guy again. I recognize him. First passenger we pulled to. Tarnaise, my good fellow. Ooh, a 33 euro fare. Passenger getting into your taxi is the famous polemicist Francois de... I don't know how to say that. You've driven home before. Doesn't seem to recognize you, actually. He barely looks at you. You start driving. Are you bothered by all these protest marches? This question washes over you. Forgot that during the day people were holding protests. They work nights. Ah. Doesn't know how to follow up. Only goes by before he yells. Ah, see? There's not much chance they come to protest at 3 AM, eh? It's not really surprising, actually. They want to make a change, but only when it's convenient. Not on vacations, not on weekends, not on nights. They make fun of us in other countries. France, the land of strikes, of protest marches. This country is filled with jackasses, slanderers, and simpletons. Let him talk. Take the United States, for example. They have no right to strike. You still die. Spit flies from his mouth and disappears somewhere on the back seat. And they didn't become the most powerful country in the world by going on strike all the time. He snickers. His notebook appears in his hand and he begins to write. Strike, protest, unrest. For businessmen and manufacturers are working across the clock. French people should be ashamed. Take a look in the mirror, decide to change, to do something. They expect too much from life. They want to have their cake and eat it too, and bite off more than they can chew! Catches his breath. Froth begins to form at the corners of his mouth. And meanwhile the world keeps turning. While the workers twiddle their thumbs, the strikers. Workers are working, no, struggling to get their jobs done. That's better. Idiotic protest marches. The Francis thing and the stupidness. You have to look at the masses in the eye and say, you do not own these trees. You shall not wield them like weapons. Suddenly raises his eyes and looks at you. You're unfocused and his complexion deathly pale. Are you okay? Your passenger's gaze wanders somewhere beyond the windshield. I just remember that. I once marched. It came back to me like an old childhood memory. I can see it clearly. From Versailles to Paris. I can picture the banners, the songs, and the people's faces. There were so many of us. We could have been done. Thousands of us. We marched towards the capital. Our pure and wholesome voices rose up. Voice shakes a bit. For a second, your passenger feeds on the silence around him, so recharging his batteries. It was a march against the suppression of free thought, against communist propaganda. We created a barricade for freedom of education, for the cry from the heart of the high-quality religious education, where France was being crushed by the weight of socialism. We were being ideologically purged, completely decimated. It was the end of parochial schools, the end of our culture as we knew it. His voice trembles. Did you win? Yes, we won. Remain silent. Passenger slowly sinks into a strange funk. He remains that way for the rest of the ride until he reaches his destination. He sighs contentedly as you pull the taxi up along the sidewalk. Those were the days. It was a great time. The left was running the country. He leans in towards you like he's about to tell you a secret with a smirk on his face. And I'm in the real left, huh? He pays and gets out of the car, and you hear him talking to himself as he walks towards the front door of the building. What a lovely night. Good luck to you tomorrow. With all these protest marches, it's going to be a mess. He's gone before you have the time to remind him you only work nights. You notice a newspaper on the back seat. Your last passenger must have left it behind, or the one before. You grab it and put it away. Could come in handy. You start driving. No tip. Well, oh well, we got some newspaper. Could be something on there I need to know. You look like the type to know about military affairs, and I got someone there that needs to do that. Oh, read the newspaper. Hold on. Pull the newspaper out of your glove compartment and start leafing through it. Eventually something grabs your eye. Quite involved article about the famous police leaks affair. Who, why, and how all that confidential data was released to the public. The Justice Department is now looking at the corrupt and violent cops who are known to be out of line. Concerned associations applaud how transparent they are being. Yet the more you read, the more you get the impression the journalist does not agree with their methods. You turn the page and stop. You read about a third of the newspaper. Keep reading. You stop reading, go back a few pages. You thought you saw something. It's a rather enthusiastic article about a bar named Napo. Make note of the information with interest. In your line of work, that kind of thing can always come in handy. You only have a third left to read. Read the whole thing, sure. As you get back to the page, you stop. Your instinct tells you to look at it. It's a short article mentioning a strike led by a handful of employees of Confidant de Moiris, a luxury candy brand. The employees demand better wages. The owners, the Groupe d'Amont, are threatening to relocate their factories abroad. You shut the paper. We'll end up in the trash tonight. If you remember, it's there. Otherwise, it'll spend the rest of its days in your glove compartment. Wonder if I got anything out of that. I'm gonna fill up on gas. I've already made back my wage for the day. That's good. Pull over and stop at a gas station. Not a soul in sight. The fluorescent light irritates your eyes, and the smell of pee is wafting in from the space in between the pumps. Self-service here. You pay directly at the pump. Mini-mart over there. Must sell newspapers. Person behind the counter must see and hear things. Might be worth asking a couple of questions. Makes you nervous, though. All you want to do is get back in your warm cab. Enter the shop before filling up. The smell coming off the guy running the shop at the station. Boobs. Welcome. He sighs beyond tired of repeating the same sentence over and over. To the Belle Pompeii. Talk with the clerk. I was wondering. Immediately bring up the serial killer. The cashier looks up, obviously excited by the topic. Hey! Very nice. Buy a newspaper. It's only 40 euros. And we'll buy a cash lottery ticket. Don't know what that means. No go. Oh well. Not a word from the guy behind the counter. You, on the other hand, curse automatically as you pull one foot out in the freezing cold. Fill the tank. Oh, you click and hold. Ooh, that is expensive. That's more than one fare. Can you taxi and drive away? Oh, jeez, there are people miles away. Let's go for... No, this guy's actually extremely close. Or I guess I can't go to him. Because I tried to click and couldn't. That's a... 6.5 kilometers for more than 20 euros. I'll take it. Looks at you, he like appreciates you in your taxi. Gives you his address. You start driving. A few words are exchanged. The weather, taxes, traffic. Then you can tell it's coming. The inevitable conversation about the killer. Some bits of information, rumors, things overheard. You make a mental note of what you've heard. Who knows? Might come in handy. Your passenger doesn't make a sound for the next few minutes of the trip. Doesn't bother you. You have enough in your mind. Your investigation, the judge, Bousset. You overcome with the craving to smoke. You nod slowly and glance at your passenger. Calm and still, he seems far away. Is everything okay? Yes, thank you. He slowly turns his head towards you and gives you an odd look. Like he's disappointed you're talking to him. He watches you closely for another minute and turns back out to look out the window. Keep your eyes on the road. The silence becomes heavy. All of a sudden, you feel a strange sense of camaraderie with your passenger. You look at him quickly in the rearview mirror. Doesn't look familiar at all, and yet it's like you know him. A second later, an outside light shines on his face at a weird angle. It looks like he's smiling. A few seconds later, you drive down a street. He straightens up a bit. You park in front of the number he gave you and pays his fare without a word. Door opens slowly and he smiles at you. You can tell it comes from the bottom of his heart despite how uptight he is. You're a really swell guy. You weren't expecting that. By the time you collect your thoughts, the passenger is already far away. Disappears into a building. A moment goes before you turn the key into the ignition. Very nice. Not a lot of time left. Oh, we've got two. I gotta go for the person who's closer considering how little time I have left. But I need to do one of these two. Two police officers standing for the bill. Stairs, your taxi goes by, you speed up and just, you don't have to see him. Hey pal, can you help me out? Herb Greylaw. It's Herb, a homeless man like hundreds of others in Paris. You've known each other for years, and even now, then he asks you for a favor to drive him someplace. He usually greets you quietly, although he seems to have a little on edge. Hey, buddy! What's up, Pop? The strange verbal tick that you never really understood. He's whistling a funny tune. He's in a pretty good mood. You look good.
Yeah, thanks. Some days like that. Everything goes your way, eh? Belly's full, your buddies are around to help you, you're not cold.
Gives you a smile.
And then, you get good news.
Oh, really?
Really, something you're glad to hear.
Well, out with it then.
Well, it's Mac's wife. She just got married. Real love story and all that, just the way I like 'em.
How'd you find out?
Ashley sometimes comes around with stuff for me. She told me. She was embarrassed. Give me a blanket, a few books, some canned food, ravioli.
She do that often?
Yeah, from time to time when she comes to Paris.
In the rearview mirror, your passenger's face clouds over. As if what he was saying had just sunk in. Suddenly, between clenched teeth, he hisses, "Whore." You look up. No, don't say anything. You look out the neighborhood, the squalor in the rundown buildings, well away from the Paris of postcards. Suddenly, Hervé opens the cab door.
You can pull up over here. I don't want to get you in any trouble. Guys on the squad can be a little on edge.
Poke in the car, and Hervé opens the door.
Good night, thanks again, Kim.
Gives you a smile. A moment later, Hervé vanishes inside a graffiti-covered building. Its imposing Art Deco facade mesmerizes you for a moment, and you start up the cab. No favor's fine. Shouldn't the night be over? Yes, the night's over. You now know more about your clients. You've met SALIM. Check the Passadex. You met Chauvet. Yeah, I had to spend the money on the, You heard something on Shore's ghost station. You've met Sonny. Okay, yeah, that just brings all that up. At the foot of your front door, just behind a drain pipe, you notice an envelope. It's thick and heavy. You just make out your name written in thick black marker at the front. Your real name. Shit. In the envelope, you find more information just as Bousset promised. You lay them out on the table. With the new evidence on the table, it'll take you a while to read everything carefully. Suddenly overcome with the desire to sleep, you close your eyes, spread your fingers to your eyelids, and let out a yawn. Crack your knuckles and get to work. Ooh, not enough time. So I need more time. Do I? So we've already got the height down. Yeah. So we'll put up to here anything connected to her. So everything... She has everything to do with Crime Scene 3. And is the correct height. Why does that have to do with it, though? Victim 3, everything. Location. All this has to do with location. Victim 1 was a molester who was never arrested. But surely he would have fought for that person. That doesn't seem like someone he would have, killed. He doesn't seem like the type to do that. Huh. Do we really not have time for these? I have the 2 dots. I guess not. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. Pull open a sofa bed, which unfolds with an unpleasant creak. You collapse onto the mattress. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. Your brain is running at full speed, your body aches, and you are in pain. You can tell you need to get more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. It's taking shape little by little. Who'd have thought? If only Bousset would give you a little more time. You shake your head and your mind wanders for a second. And then, you're asleep. So we have, a week or something? You open one eye. Someone flushes the toilet and you hear the pipe shake. Sounds calming, get up quickly. You're outside your studio. Night 3. Alright, well, we have more informants that I will get to next time. Thanks for watching. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.